Hello? What's up? What's up, dudes? 20 minutes late. My bad. Oh, look at me. I'm frozen. Sometimes this happens. Okay, we're all good now. So, yeah, we're doing tarot card readings today. So, if anybody here is ready for a reading, I have the cards. I'm gonna go ahead and open them up. I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle them a little bit. Maybe I'll do a reading for myself. But I don't know. Nah, I don't feel comfortable doing one for myself on live. I feel like something's gonna happen. No, thank you. So, I was thinking that maybe today we can look inside this fairy book. Like a fairy encyclopedia book that I have here saved. I'll go ahead, I'll get it out here. Yeah, also, let me go ahead and let's see what's going on multi-stream. So, yeah, I have a book here. It's the full book, has 500 something pages. Oh, wait. Maybe it's this one. There we go. And so, we have El Cleo. El Cleo, thanks for offering. I get that. I would like a reading. Okay. So, our first today is going to be El Cleo. So, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to start your reading. So this is for El Cleo. Our first card here is Two of Cups. It says, yeah. The first one today is our mind, past, background. Two of Cups. It says, time to connect with others, to celebrate and be joyful. Conflict can be settled. Time for truths. Now, our second card here is our body present problem, and it says the Hermit. So the Hermit says, it says right here, it says, wisdom beyond years, good teacher, seeking solitude, compassion, self, okay, self, hold on. Oh, no, no, no. A need to withdraw from society to be able to investigate a self more fully. The lantern symbolizes the need to share insight and knowledge with others. And then our third card here is our spirit future advice. It says the Hanged Man. So that one is saying rebirth, flexibility, emotional release, acceptance, new possibility, higher cause, reflection, pause. You are at a crossroads. A sacrifice has to be made to bring new energy into the matter. A time of transformation and transaction, or transformation and transition. So that was for El Clio for you. And then we have let's see. Watered woman. Why hasn't Mackenzie responded to my text? Is she mad at me? Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's ask the cards that today. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put these away. El Clio, that was your reading for today. And then for yeah, no problem. And for watered woman, this is for you. Oopsie daisy. Here we go. Here. So our first card here is our mind past background. It says the Knight of Wands. It says, your charm is superficial, your self-confidence is cocky, and your daring is foolhardy. Reconsider. Now our second card here is our body present problem. It's the Knight of Cups. It says right here, you have, hold on. You have many qualities, but the problem is balance. Romance is different from over emotional. Now our third card is our spirit future advice. It says, that is the Nine of Wands. It says, take extra precautions as you may have defeated yourself and may need all hidden reserves available. So that's your future advice, or spirit future advice right there. It says, take extra precautions as you may have to defend yourself and may need all hidden reserves available. And that was for you, watered woman. And then we have, hello, may I have a reading from Laralyn Green? And then NC says, hi, may I ask, will Sagittarius reach out to reconcile? Let's go ahead, let's check it out. So, Lauren Green, yes, you may have a reading. I can give you one right now. So this is for Lauren. Lauren, go ahead and think about what you want to ask the cards today. Okay, so this is for Lauren Green. Okay, so right here it says, our first card is our mind past background. It says Two of Wands. It says leadership. Oh, never mind. It says cannot make a decision, stagnation, too worried about making the wrong choice. And then now our second card says body present problem. Three of Swords. It says there has been many trauma and grief. You need to open up to this and accept things the way they are. And then our third card is our spirit future advice. It's the Page of Cups. it says, now have the courage to be loving, show your emotions, trust your intuition, forgive all trespasses. So that was for Lauren Green. And then Bree, hi. Are you still doing readings? Yes. Yes, I am. Maybe you guys want to see my hat instead of my old head here. Maybe this is more better. So, and see if you're still here, let me know in the chat. And then I'll go ahead, I'll give you your reading. I'll go ahead and I'll shuffle the cards. In the meanwhile, just let me know so I can give you one. And then Bree, if you're here too, go ahead, let me know. I'll be giving out tarot card readings for the whole night, so perfect. So, NC, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put these cards away. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna grab your cards. Oop. Here's 1, 2, 3. So this is for NC. The first card here, that is our mind, past, background. And that says, right here it says 9 of Swords. And the 9 of Swords says, you worry too much, you feel too anxious and disturbed. Why suffer so much anguish? Consider the options. And then our second card here, this is our body present problem. It says Knight of Swords. And that says here, work up the courage to express yourself properly. You can do much better than you think. And then our third card here, that is our spirit future advice. That's the 8 of Pentacles. It says, the situation is stagnating and seems to go on forever without change. Advances, promotions, not happening. So, that was your reading for today. NC, go ahead, screenshot if you need to. And then I'll go ahead, I'll do Bree right now as well. So yeah, it was pretty interesting. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm putting these away right now. So this is for Bree. We have Abigail Chan. Hello, new here from Reunion Island. Will me and him are SAG. Ooh, all the SAGs tonight. I'm a SAG. Hey guys, you're welcome, NC. All right, Bree. So you're up. Ooh. So here's our first card, second card, and then here's our third card right here. So our first card is the Fool. This card is our mind, past, background. The number 1 tarot, or the 0 tarot. It says, new beginnings, blind faith, courage for the unknown, improving joy, happiness, carefree. The spirit in search of experience represents the mystical cleverness and childlike ability to tune into the inner working of the world. Then our second card here is the Page of Pentacles. It says, it's our body present problem. So Page of Pentacles here. It says, "You are smart, but not as smart as you think you are. Your ambitions are unrealistic, and you are bound to fail." Now, here is our spirit future advice for the King of Cups. It says, "You have power, but you are stuck within your blocked emotions. Why are you so scared of rejection?" So that was the reading for Bree. So go ahead and screenshot if you need to. I'll put like a little widget here. Um, oh, look it, look it. I changed it again. It's like it's not as it was before. Um, so we have Abigail Chan. Um, hello, new here for Reunion Island. Will his mom agree for our wedding this year? Me and him are Sagittarius. Okay, so this is for Abigail. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put these cards away, Brie. Okay, so this is for Abigail Chan. Alright, first card, second card, third card. So for Abigail, this is our first card. This is our mind, past, background. That card is the Seven of Wands. Time to show conviction and stand behind your ideas, if necessary, aggressively. Defy all opposition. Now our second card here is our body present problem. It's 3 of Cups. It says, "Not such a good time. Things may well go wrong, and there will be discontent and blame." And then our third card here is our spirit future advice. It's the 2 of Swords. It says, "You are..." Ooh, hold on here. Let me see here. It says, "You are flustering and creating unnecessary dramas. The time will be impossible to reach a compromise." So this time it will be impossible to reach a compromise. So that was for Abigail Chan. She says, "I sent her a long message on WhatsApp yesterday and she read it but no answer for the moment. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk." Dang! If these cards are correct, I think she may be a little stubborn on the situation. I don't know. So if you need to go ahead, screenshot the cards if you need to. And that way you can look deeper into the cards as well, Abigail. And then thank you for coming in. Like and subscribe my channel if you like free tarot card readings, because I'm doing them every Monday and Tuesday from like 6:30 to like, I don't know, at least 8 something. Oh yeah, no problem, Abigail. I'm doing them for free, so just come on by anytime you guys want. And then I'll be here and I'll be waiting for you. and we'll go ahead. We'll do these readings. Also, sometimes I do other things too, other than readings as well. Tony Redfield says, "Hello, may I have a card?" Yes, you may, Tony. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna grab these cards, put them away. So, Tony, this is gonna be your reading for today. Coming right up. Hello, may I have a card? Yes, you may. Just one, but I'm gonna give you three, okay? One, two, and then we got our third card right here. So our first card here, second card, and then our third card. Okay. So this is for Tony. Okay. Can you see that good? I think that's good, right? Alright. Okay, so Tony, this is our first card here. This is our mind past background. So right here it says Six of Swords. It says, "You are exhausted and worn out. This could be a good time to embark on a journey, travel." And now our second card here is our body present problem. It's Page of Pentacles. And that one says, "You are smart, but not as smart as you think you are. Your ambitions are unrealistic, and you are bound to fail." Now, our third card is our Spirit Future Advice. And this is the Ten of Swords. It says, "Things couldn't be much worse. You see yourself as the victim, the martyr. Why me, you ask?" So it says, "Things couldn't be much worse. You see yourself as the victim, and the martyr. Why me, you ask?" So that was for Tony Redfield. That was your tarot card reading for today. Go ahead, subscribe for more content. Because, I mean, the tarot card reading was kind of like, oh. Sometimes, like, the cards are kind of like sad or like kind of like meanish, but then like it's like, it wasn't me, man. It wasn't me. It was the cards. It was the cards. So no hard feelings. If you need to take a screenshot, go for it. So you can look deeper into the cards. They may be more to them than you know. Hi, can I get a reading? Guts. Yes. Yes, you may. Alright, Tony. I'm gonna go ahead and put these away. And I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start our reading for Guts. Oh, it's cool. Like the little Facebook on the side here, it says you can see like the profile picture of people from like Facebook. That's pretty cool. So Guts, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give you your 3-card reading today. So here we go. And then right here. Thanks. No problem. Here is our first card, our second card, and then here is our third card. Whoa, these are some big hitter cards right here. They are all reversed. So let's go ahead, let's get it. Okay, so our first card is the mind past background right over here. That is that's a 6 of Swords. It says you are having difficulty solving tasks, especially intellectual ones. Your plans are being delayed. And then our second card here is our body present problem. So it says strength here. It says defeat lack of willpower, pessimism, anger, jealousy, lack of motivation, power used wrongly, surrender the unworthy impulses, loss of ambition, overcome by lethargy and boredom, anxiety and stress, fearful of the future. Now, our third card here is our spirit future advice, and it says temperance. It says right here. It says imbalance, imbalance, volatility, poor judgment, bad decision making, exhaustion, recklessness, intolerance. There is conflict of interest, stress, and disagreement. The elements of your plan do not fit together. Circumstances and environment are unsuitable. So that was our reading for Guts Guts. That was for you. Let me go ahead. Oh, oh, we have an ad for Dave playing in the background. So I guess I'm slightly changing up the vibe. Hello, sub and liked, may I ask? Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Tree Tree. Everyone has double names tonight. Very cool. Alright, so Tree Tree, you wanna have a reading? Go ahead. You can ask a question. Go ahead. Thank you for the cute smiley face. Very nice. Oh, no way. Subscriber. Thank you so much. Tree Tree, thank you so much for subscribing. Destiny, the empath coach. Hello, I liked. May I ask? Yes. Yes, you guys can ask. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put these cards away. This is for Tree Tree, our first reading here. Oh, sorry, my hat is be hitting like this microphone. What celeb's feeling? What Caleb's feeling and intentions for me? Okay, so for Tree Tree, anything for you? Here's 3 cards. All right, 2, 3. Thank you, ma'am. Very cool. So here's our first card, second card, and our third card. Woohoo! Okay, so for Tree Tree, here's our first card. It says, our mind, past, background. That one is the 7 of Pentacles. It says, the worst thing you can do now is to move too fast and preempt the situation. Patience, hold back. And then our second card here is the King of Wands. That is our body present problem. And then he says, you are showing strong leadership. You are creative, inspiring, forceful, charismatic, and courageous. Now, our third card is our spirit future advice. It's the Page of Cups. And that one says, your gloomy outlook does not make friends. Live up to your promises. Others will lose patience with you. So that was for Tree Tree. And then if you need to go ahead and screenshot them cards. That way you can look deeper into them whenever you want. You can learn more about what's going on with the situation. So, Destiny, the Empath Coach, you're up. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put these cards away. Okay, so here we go. No problem, Tree Tree. Destiny, the Empath Coach. Here we go, Destiny, 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 Destiny. Here we go. First, second, third. Okay, so this is our first card, our mind, past, background. It says Page of Wands. It says, you need all your confidence, enthusiasm, and courage to bring enterprise to a good conclusion. Now, our second card is our body present problem. It's the Three of Cups. It says, right here, it says, not such a good time. Things may well go wrong. There will be disconnect and blame. And then our third card is Spirit Future Advice. It is the Ten of Cups. It says, family and friends are providing support. Life is joyful. You are enjoying inner peace. So that was for Destiny the Empath Coach. Has Kiji been thinking about me? I don't know what do these cards say. So Brittany Kittle, you're up after this reading. So let's go ahead. Let's read these cards one more time. So the middle card was our body present problem. So that's a Three of Cups. So it says things may well go wrong. There will be disconnect and blame. Thank you, Brittany, so much for giving a like. Thank you. So, yeah, it says disconnect and blame. And then the third card was our spirit, future, or advice. And that was looking pretty good. It says family and friends are providing support. Life is joyful. You are enjoying inner peace. So, whatever you take from that, Destiny, that's for you. Can I get another reading, like yes or no? Yes, Guts. After Brittany, we can go ahead. We'll give you a 10 card reading for you to get your answer that you want. So Brittany Kittle, I'm going ahead. I'm gonna put these cards away, and I'm gonna go ahead and start your card reading. Okay, so this is for Brittany. All right, Brittany. So here's our cards for today. No problem, Destiny. Anytime. So our first card here is our mind, past, background, and this cup says Ace of Cups. It says, why are your emotions so blocked? Your creativity is suppressed, and so are your psychic abilities. Now, our second card is our body present problem. It's the Page of Pentacles. Can you guys hear that back there? Page of Pentacles. It says body present problem. It says, "You are smart, but not as smart as you think you are. Your ambitions are unrealistic, and you are bound to fail." And then our third card here is our Spirit Future Advice. It is the. Looks like the Seven of Wands. It says, "Are you running away from your responsibilities? Are you isolating yourself? Are you being dishonest?" So that was for Brittany. So that was your reading for tonight. Go ahead and screenshot if you need to. And then Guts was gonna get his or her tarot card reading, a 10 card reading. How are you, new subscriber? Oh, Jaws Will Winder. Very cool. Thank you so much for subbing. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put these cards away, Brittany. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start Guts 10 card reading. So Guts for this one, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna ask you please to ask the question in your head a lot, and then just go ahead do that for me really fast, and then we'll go ahead. We'll do your 10 card reading. Okay, so this is how the 10 card reading is set up. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's start. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put these, get these cards all situated. So let's go ahead. Let's zoom out so we can see what's going on. Sorry, you guys can see like more than you usually can, but here we go. Raymond, can you turn that down, please? Ray, can you turn it down? Turn it down a little bit. Sorry. So here's our first card, second card, third card, fourth card, fifth card, sixth card, 7, 8, 9, and then our 10 right here. So let me go ahead and let me explain what this is. So this is called the Celtic Cross, and this is a very old tarot card reading method. So our first part here is our Celtic Cross, or like the cross area, and this is our like situation, and then here is our staff, and this is more like extra stuff, kind of related more to you, Guts. Okay, so our first card here. Let me go ahead. This is a really long process. Okay, so our first card here represents the situation. It says the Hierophant. It says corruption, hypocrisy, broken rules, lack of imagination, lack of commitment, lack of moral and spiritual guidance to the point of silliness. There is hypocrisy and inflexibility in the situation. Your ego is drifting without guidance. So that was the situation. Now, the current challenge impacting the issue is our second card here. So this is our challenge. It says right over here. It says 9 of Cups. It says, oops, things are good. Your wishes have been fulfilled, and you are good. You have a good reason for satisfaction. If it is reversed, it says nothing has turned out the way you had hoped. Things are disintegrating disintegrating and falling apart. So this one's like either or, I guess, in the middle here. And then this is our third card. This card represents the foundation of the situation. So that is the 9 of Pentacles. It says, you must rely on your own insights and resources, maintain discipline, get better at everything. And now our fourth card here. This card represents the past relevant to the situation. So that card is Judgment. It says, awakening, accomplishment, new possibilities, being alert, taking responsibility, a signal of an impending judgment or a postponed decision. Events from the past may resurface. Put extra effort into all your actions at this time. Okay, so that card represented the past relevant to the situation. Now, our fifth card over here, it's the Ace of Cups. So that card represents the present. It says, open up to your inner feelings, trust your intuition, invite intimacy and love into your life. And then our near future, this is our number 6. It says, represents our near future. That card says, I think that's our 9 of Cups right now. No. It is the 5 of Cups. It says, something. Okay, hold on. This thing's ginormous. It says, sometimes it is unavoidable to suffer loss. You are disappointed and have regrets. The clock does not turn back. So this is all related to the situation for Guts. This is like your situation that you have. And then now this is like a little special thing. There's 10 cards, so there's some extra cards here for you today, Guts. Look at that. So this is called our staff. So the staff is a little bit different. It says this is kind of like more like for you, like your spiritual stuff. So number 7 here, this card represents the diviner's personal power. And it says right here, it's the 9 of Wands. It says, do not mistake stubbornness with willpower. Lack of strength may bring about significant losses. Okay, and so our 8th card here, this card represents the this represents the effect on those around you. So this is the effect of people on those around you, okay? So let's see what's going on here. It says, I've never even seen this card. It says 5 of Swords. It says, hold on to your integrity and don't act purely on self-interest. You may be experiencing discord. So that's kind of like narcissism or something. And then here is our 9th card. It says represents the diviner's hopes and fears. So this card is the 10 of Wands. It says, you are running away from your responsibilities, incapable of staying on top of things, fearful. And then here's our 10th card. Whoops. It's the star. It says okay. So the 10th card, this represents the outcome. It says self-doubt, lack of trust, cynicism, pessimism, negativity, bleak future, lack of hope. The promises being offered may be false. You cannot express yourself because your mind is rigid, and this rigidity stands in the way of your happiness. So that is your 10 card reading for Guts Guts. And then, yeah, that was the whole thing. It was a pretty long thing. Papu Das. Hello. Thank you for subbing. If you guys are also interested in a tarot card reading, let me know in the comments. And I'll go ahead. I'll give you a basic 3 card reading, no problem. Bim bam bada boom. Just for you. And then, yeah, this is like a really big reading for Guts Guts. Yeah, no problem. Anytime. Come on back and I'll give you some more anytime you want. Or at least Monday 6:30 and Tuesday 6:30 for sure. After that time, for sure. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put these stuff away right here. Let's see what the cards say about the decision that I am not able to take the SRL question mark. Alright, Papados, let's go ahead. Let's give you that reading that you will like. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm putting these away. Guts. Her daughter Sherilyn, who was 19. That's what's in the background, you know. I don't know what's going on with that show. It's something that Raymond is watching back there. So this is for Papados. Very cool name thing. Very cool. So here's our 3 card reading for you today, Papados. Okay. So here's our first card for you, Papados. It says mind past background. It says Ace of Wands. It says enthusiastic, fired up, ready to go, inspirational to others, self-expression, resourceful. Now our second card is our body present problem. It says Page of Pentacles. It says work. Wait, no. It says you are smart, but not as smart as you think you are. Your ambitions are unrealistic and you are bound to fail. So that's our body present problem. Now, our third card is our spirit future advice. It says the star. So this could be either our spirit, our future, or it could be advice. It says good omen, hope, inspiration, generosity, sincerity, peace of mind, fame, openness. A card of hopefulness and inspiration. Many things will improve. Fortune is on your side. Old wounds will be healed. A perfect time to make changes. So, a perfect time to make changes. That was for Papados. Yeah, go ahead, screenshot if you need to. And then if anybody else right here would like a tarot card reading, go ahead, let me know in the comments, and I'll go ahead, I'll give you one. Free all night. Go ahead, tell your friends to give them some subscribers to me so I can keep giving you guys readings. And then if nobody wants to go ahead and get a reading, we can start reading my little fairy book that I have here. Talking about Oh, it better work. It better work. So, this book is a book that I got, talking about like all of the fairies that have been recorded, and like the stories from like each fairy like that has been recorded. So it's pretty interesting. It's really weird. It's supposed to be like a dictionary. I don't know. I was reading some of it, but I actually haven't read like this far or anything. It says, monks who were in charge of the chronicles. There was lively intercourse between the monasteries and often personal friendships. It seems likely, for instance, that Ralph of Congleshall of William Newbridge were friends and exchanged material. Strange happenings and supernatural occurrences were eagerly recorded, and it is from these that we gain some of the early fairy anecdotes. Some chroniclers, however, though they were churchmen, were not monasterics. Among these, Geoffrey and Monmouth and his friend Walter Map and or Maps, all this weird stuff. So this says, all these chroniclers record fairy beliefs of great interest. Ralph of Congleshall tells the story of Malkin, the Green Children, and he gives a long account of Merman. Merman. Should I go ahead and choose to go ahead with SLR? So hold on. Let's go ahead. Let's go back and see what's going on here. So for Papa Dust, you need some confirmation going on with these cards here. So the problem says basically maybe if you tone down like whoever you're trying to get with, maybe like make them feel like more smarter. Like don't like try to act like you're smart, like smarter than them or anything like that. Like just like treat them like good. And then the star said some good stuff. So maybe if it was advice, it could be like to let's see what it said again. It says, a card of hopeful and inspiration. Many things will improve. Fortune is on your side. Old wounds will be healed. A perfect time to make changes. So make changes, it says. So yeah, make changes. Maybe things could work out between you and whoever you're with if you make changes. Maybe on like yourself and stuff, and then you guys could like maybe have a good time. I don't know. So for Papa Das, if you need any more, maybe like reading into the cards, go ahead and screenshot them. That way, like you can go at, like say, oh, like it was the Ace of Wands was the first card. The second one was a reverse Page of Pentacles, and then the third one was the Star, like the regular size. So then you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and look these up. You could totally do that. No problem with that. So go ahead, screenshot if you ever need to. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put this away. Oh, I know. Oh, whoopsies. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna keep reading my fairy book. But let's see if I can zoom into this thing because it's. Here we go. Whoops. That was an accident. I need this thing right here. So I just skipped to a random page. She must be rated as a nursery bogey. Beg Powler is the evil goddess of the teas, and many are the tales still told to Pierceburg of her dragging naughty children into deep waters when playing, despite the orders and threats of their parents on its banks, especially on the Sabbath day. What the heck is going on here? Honestly, let's go ahead and start over. Let's read the book from the beginning, guys. let's see what's going on here. Cause okay, it says Badab or Badab or Bibe. It says the Celtic goddess of war, who, according to even whence the fairy faith in Celtic countries, incorporated the three goddesses. Oh, oh, the three goddesses. Oh, oh, sorry guys, this is like a weird website. Nieman, Maka, and Morigu in a single form, that of Roystone or Hoodie Crow. The mythology has declined into folklore, and perching. Oh, the crow perching on the house is often the form taken by the banshee or fairy woman. The narrative of the Battle of Moyatura in the Book of Linkster gives one of the most vivid descriptions of the activities of Bahad and her attendant spirits. So then it talks about the banshee. Some people like that's like a popular one, I think. It says an Irish death spirit, more correctly written banshee, who wails only for members of the old families when surreal king together in foretells the death of someone very great or holy. The banshee has long streaming hair and gray cloak over a green dress. Her eyes are fiery red with continual weeping. In the Scottish Highlands, the banshee is called the Bean Nigiri, or Little Washer by the Ford, and she washes the grave clothes of those about to die. Okay, it says in the memoirs of Lady Fanshawe, who lived from 1625 to 1676, there is a first-hand account of a banshee that appeared to her when she was staying with Lady Honor O'Brien. There we stayed 3 nights, the first of which I was surprised by being laid in a chamber. When about 1 o'clock I heard a voice that wakened me. I drew the curtain, and in the casement of the window I saw, by the light of the moon, a woman leaning into the window through the casement, in white, with red hair and pale and ghastly complexion. She spoke loud and in a tone I had never heard. Thrice. Now my dog's all barking. Let's see what's we go up here. It says a horse. Okay, so she sounded like a horse. And then with a sigh, more like the wind than breath, she vanished. And to me, her body looked more like a thick cloud than substance. I was so much frightened that my hair stood on end and my nightclothes fell off. I pulled and pinched your father, who never woke during the disorder I was in. But at last, how much surprised to see me in the fright, and more so when I related to the story and showed him to the window open. The window open. Neither of us slept any more that night, but he entertained me with it, telling me how much more these apparitions were usual in this country. So I guess they happen a lot than in England. And we concluded the cause to be a great superstition of the Irish and the want of the knowing faith, which should defend them from the power of the devil, which he exercises among them very much. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, la. Okay, so it says, saying she had not been in the bed all night because a cousin O'Brien of hers, whose ancestors had owned that house, had desired her to stay with him in his chamber, and that he died at 2 o'clock. And she said, I wish you to have no disturbance, for 'tis the custom of the place. that when of the family are dying, the shape of a woman appears in the window every night till they be dead. I didn't know that. This woman has many ages ago got with a child by the owner of this place, who murdered her in his garden and flung her into the river under the window. But truly I thought not of it when I lodged on here, it being the best room of the house. We made little reply to her speech, but disposed ourselves to be gone suddenly. So they're like, oh my god, let's get the heck out of here. Oh my god, I can't believe that's crazy. Oh, you can't even like see like what I'm like reading here. Hold on. Let's see here, and then let's see this. This could be a little bigger here. There you go. It says, alright, so some 200 years later, Lady Wilde wrote a chapter in her Ancient Legends of Ireland, in these pages, I guess, on the beliefs that the Banshee, according to her, the Irish Banshee, is more beautiful and poetic than the deformed Banshee of the Scottish Highlands. In the course of her description, she says, sometimes the Banshee assumes the form of some sweet singing virgin of the family who died young, and has been given the mission by the invisible powers to become the harbinger of coming doom to her mortal kindred. Or she may be seen at night as a shrouded woman crouched beneath the tree, laminating with a veiled face, or flying past the moonlight crying bitterly. And the cry of the spirit is mournful beyond all other sounds on earth, and betokens certain death to some members of the family, whether it is heard in the silence of the night. So that's about a banshee, I guess. The bean Nehi is also sometimes thought of as a ghost, but the ghost of a woman who died in childbirth. G. J.G. Campbell in Superstitions of the Scottish Highlands says, women dying in childbed were looked upon as dying prematurely, and it was believed that unless all of the clothes left by them were washed, they have to wash them themselves till the natural period of their death. Yet the bean Nahi's washing was supposed to be foreshadowing the violent death of some member. Of the clan, whose grave clothes she was washing. The Nightland Banshee, like the other fairies, has some physical defects. She has only one nostril, a large protruding front tooth, and a long hanging breast. Okay. A mortal who is bold enough to creep up to her as she is washing and laminating and suck her long breasts can claim to be her foster child and gain a wish from her. What? If you suck on her long breast. What the hell? It says that you can get a wish. Okay, you can gain a wish from her. Since the word banshee means fairy woman, the beliefs about her are various, and occasionally the Glasting is spoken of as a banshee, though she has nothing to do with the bean Nahi. So now here's more. So this is like another banshee, I guess, variant, a banshee variant right here. Behoe Sith, or Banshee. Bless you. This Highland word is the same as banshee and means fairy woman, but it is generally employed to mean a kind of succubus, very dangerous and evil. D.A. Mackenzie in Scottish Folklore and Folk Life. Retell the story for C.M. Robertson's Folklore from the West of Rossshire. Four young men were on a hunting trip and spent the night in an empty shieling, a hut built to give shelter for the sheep and the grazing season. They began to dance, one supplying mouth music. One of the dancers wished that they had partners. Almost at once, 4 women came in. 3 danced. The 4th stood by the music maker. But as he hummed, he saw drops of blood falling from the dancers, and he fled out of the shieling, pursued by his demon partner. He took refuge among the horses, and she could not get to him, probably because of the iron with which they were sawed. But she circled around him all night and only disappeared when the sun rose. She went back into the shielding and found the bloodless bodies of the dancers laying there. Their partners had sucked them dry. Oh, shoot. Drink the blood. Should I choose a place MED or SRL? Should I choose a place? So, should I choose to go ahead with... I don't know, dude. I don't know, man. I don't know because, probably the other one. Just to make changes. Something. Probably the other one. Man, I'm kind of hungry. That yogurt tastes really good. Okay. So, let's go ahead. Let's keep getting into this. What's going on here? This is a bar guest, a kind of bogey or boggy beast. It has horns, teeth, and claws, and fiery eyes. Henderson describes the Barghest as closely allied to Padfoot and the Headley No. Like them, it can take various forms, but usually appears as a shaggy black dog with huge fiery eyes. It is generally regarded as a death portent. William Henderson in Folklore of the Northern Countries said that it used to haunt a piece of wasteland between Reghorn and Headingley Hill near Leeds. At the death of any notable person in this direct, it would appear, followed by all the dogs in the district, howling and baying. Henderson reports that he met an old man who claimed to have seen the possession of a child, possession as a child from that dude. Hone's everyday book gives a lively report of an encounter with a bar guest. You see, sir, as how I'd been a clock dressing at Gerderson Grassington, I'd strayed rather lot, and maybe getting a lil suppo spirit, but I wore far from being drunk and knowed everything that passed. It wore about 11 o'clock when I left, and it wore at back not end ot year. It's like around the end of the year. And he's saying war like was a most admirable net it war. So admirable neat it war. Ew. Okay. The moon wore very bright and naiver seed Kyle's Stunfell planner in a May life. Now you see, sir, I wore past it middle in I heard summit come past me brush wee chains rattling a the while but I see nothing, and I thought to myself, now this is the most mortal queer thing. And I, t- I then stood still and looked about me, but I see nothing at all. No, Nabat, the two sane, was on each side omit mill line. I think that's like two sane was on, I don't know what the heck. Then I heard again this brush, brush, brush. We the change, for you see, sir. When I stood still, it stopped, and then I thought I thus mun be a bargust. He says, "Oh shit, this must be a bargust," because that shit was stalking him, I guess. That say much it's said about, and I hurried on toward it Woodbridge, so he like tried to get out of there. For they say as how Bargus cannot cross a water. But Lord, sir, when I got to the bridge, I heard this same again. So it mun either had crossed water or have gone around by the spring head. So it got across. And then I became a valiant man, for I were to bit freakened afore. He was scared and thinks I'll return. I'll turn and have a peep at this thing. So he's like, oh, I guess I'll go see. So I went up Great Bank towards Linton and heard this brush, 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 we the change all the way, and I seed nothing. So he saw nothing. Then it ceased all of a sudden, so I turned back to go home. Oh, to go hame, but I hardly reached the door when I heard again this brush, 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 and the chains going down towards it. Holland House, I followed it, and the moon there shone very bright, and I seed its tail, so he saw its tail, I guess. Then throughout I thought oud thing. I could say I seen thee now, so I'll away home. So he's like, okay, I saw it, so I'm gonna go home now. And he says, when I get to the door, there was a grit thing like a sheep, but it wore larger, linging across the threshold ought door, and it wore woolly like. And I say, get up, and it wouldn't get up. Then says, I steer thee soul, and it wouldn't stir thyself, steer itself. And I grew valiant, and I raised stick to base it with. So he was gonna hit him with a stick. And then it lurked at me, and sichoys they did grow, and the wars as big as saucers and like a cruelled ball. What? It says it was as big as saucers and like a cruelled ball. First there were a red ring, then a blue one, then a white one. Then these rings grew less and less till they came to a dot. Now I were non-feared on it. Though it giant at me fearfully, I kept on saying, get up and steer thyle, and then wife heard as how I weren't at the door. She came to open it, and then this thing got up and walked off, for it wore me freeant out owing to my wife. Then it wore o me. He didn't like his wife, I guess. And I told the wife, and she said how it wore Bargus, but I never seed it since, and that's a true story. Frick. So that's like a story that this guy wrote, I guess, about this. He saw this like demon. So that's crazy. He said, this is really interesting. It says that it was as big as saucers and like a cruelled ball. So like a ball. and there was a red ring, then a blue one, then a white one. And these rings grew less and less till they came to a dot. So that's what this dude said that he saw. Um, that's crazy. So a red ring, a blue ring, a white one, and then the rings grew less till they came to a dot. Wow. And that's a true story, he said. So, it's like interesting information from a really, really long time ago. Okay, so on to the next fairy, I guess. Um, Bathing fairies. The medicinal baths and spas so fashionable in 18th century England seem also to have been patriotised by the fairies. A lively account of them bathing one early morning at Likely Wells in Yorkshire to be found in the folklore record for 1878. It is recorded by Charles Smith from the report of John Dobberson. William Butterfield always opened the door the first thing in the... Let's go ahead and see when she did it. First thing in the what? First thing in the what? First thing in the morning. And she did this without ever noticing anything out of the common until one beautiful, quiet, and midsummer morning, as he ascended the brow of the hill, he noticed rather particularly how the birds sang so sweetly and cheeringly and vociferously, making the valley echo with the music of their voices. And in thinking it over afterwards, he remembered noticing them and considered this sign attributable to the after incident. As he drew near the wells, he took out of his pockets the massive iron key and placed it in the lock, but there was something canny about it, and instead of the key lifting the lever, it only turned round and round in the lock. He drew the key back to see that it was all right and declared it was the same that he had on the previous night hung up behind his own door down at home. Then he devoured it to push the door open, and no sooner did he push it slightly ajar than it was quickly pushed back again. At least with one supreme effort, he forced it perfectly open, and back it flew with a great bang. Then whir, such a noise and sight all over the water, and dipping into it was a lot of little creatures, all dressed in green from head to foot, none of them more than 18 inches high, and making a chatter and jabber thoroughly unintellectual. They seemed to be taking a bath, only they bath with all their clothes on. Soon, however, one or two of them began to make off, bounding over the walls like squirrels, finding they were all making ready for decamping and wanting to have a word with them. He shouted at the top of his voice. Indeed, he declared afterwards he couldn't find anything else to say or do. "Hullo there!" Then away the whole tribe went, heather skelter, toppling and tumbling head over heels over heads, and all while making a noise not unlike a disturbed nest of young partridges. The sight was so unusual that he declared he either couldn't or darn it attempt to rush after them. He stood as still and confounded, he said, as old Jeremiah Lister down there at Wheatley did, half a century previous, when a witch from Ilkley put a ash riddle upon the side of the river Wharfe, and they sailed across in it to where he was standing. Where he well had got quite clear of these strange beings, he ran to the door and looked to see where they had fled, but nothing was to be seen. He ran back into the bath to see if they had left anything behind, but there was nothing, The water lay still and clear as they had left it on the previous night. He thought they might perhaps left some of their clothing behind in their haste, but he couldn't find none, and so he gave up looking and commenced his usual routine to preparing the baths, not however without trotting to the door once or twice to see if they might be coming back, but he saw them no more. So this dude said that he saw green little people come out. Weird. These small green clad fairies may well have been elves. Their chirping bird-like voices and dress and appearance are true to the tradition of those as far back as the 16th century, and it is noticeable that well, hold on. It's noticeable that they had no wings, but scampered and leaped like squirrels. It says, "This is one of those strangely vivid accounts which can be found from time to time and which strike one with a shock of authenticity." So he's like, "What the hell?" Okay. So this is the Buchan or Bogon, a hobgoblin spirit, often trickerously, sometimes dangerous, and sometimes helpful. J.F. Campbell, in Popular Tales of the West Highlands, gives a story of one who followed his master when he emigrated to America. So Callum Moore Mackintosh had a little farm in Loch Harbour. A Buchan haunted that place, and there was a kind of love-hate relationship between the two. They often fought, but the Buchan helped Callum at need. One day, for instance, the Callum came back from the market and the Buchan waylaid him and they had a fight. When they had parted, the Callum got home. He found he had lost his best handkerchief, which he prized because it had been blessed by a priest. He was sure that the Buchan had it, and he went back to look for it. Sure enough, he found the Buchan rubbing the handkerchief on a rough stone. "It's well you've come, Callum," said the Buchan. "I'd have been your death if I'd rub a hole in this." So he's like, "Oh, I bet you'd be mad if I like made a hole in this. As it is, you'll have to fight me for it." So they fought, and Callum won back his handkerchief. A little later, however, when they had run out of firewood and the snow prevented Callum from fetching a birch he had felled, he heard a great thud at his house door, and there was a tree lunged through the snow by the Buchan. When he had to move the house, Buchan brought a great cart that he had left behind and saved him a 10-mile tramp across difficult country. So, like, he gave him a ride, I guess. Some years later came the deportations, and Callum was one of the first to land in New York. He had to stay some time in quarantine, and when he got to his new plot of land, the first person to meet him was the Boshan in the form of a goat. "Ha ha, Callum," he said, "I am before you." The Bushan was very helpful in clearing Callum's new land. He thus became an example of the American fairy immigrants. The American fairy immigrants. So now we have a Bean Nye Benihe Pa, or the washing woman, and higher tradition as the variants of the banshee. A good account of her is given to the Book of Fairy Tradition in Britain. The name and characteristics vary in different local cities. She is to be seen by desolate streams, washing the blood-stained clothes of those about to die. She is small and generally dressed in green and has a red webbed feet. She portends evil, but if anyone who she sees her before she sees him gets between her and the water, she will grant him 3 wishes. She will answer 3 questions, but she asks 3 questions again, which must be answered truly. Anyone bold enough to seize one of her hanging breasts and second may claim her for her foster child. And oh god, more with this weird boob stuff of the banshee. She will be favorable to him, but the Keone cheek of Islay, which is the same as the Binehi, is fiercer and more formidable. If anyone interrupts her, she strikes at her legs with her wet linen, and often he loses the use of his limbs. It is said that the Bean Nie are ghosts of the women who had died in childbirth and must perform their task until the natural designated time of their death comes. So I'm pretty sure we already read this. We just read this like not that long ago. At least something very, very similar. It's just more banshee stuff. More information about them. So, sunrise were popularly supposed to be the 3 defenses against the devil. The fairies were also repelled by the sound of church bells. Jabbies, alleys, and a fairy who was heard laminating. So, apparently, church bells are supposed to ward these foos off. Neither sleep, neither lie, for ink bros ting tang hangs so high. Is the first quiet a number that record the fairies. Dislike of church bells. Another protective use of bells was that the Morris men whose leg bells are generally supposed to drive anti-fertility spirits from the neighborhood. So like ring the bells to get rid of those foos, I guess. In the second place, the fairies themselves use the bells. No account of the fairy rand is complete without a mention of the jingling bells ringing from the horse's harness. We hear of it, for instance, in Young Tamerlane and the Galloway account of the fairy raid. It is never explained why the fairy bells rang unless it is from their great love of music, but is generally supposed to that these fairies, in spite of their general habit of kidnapping human beings and purloining human food, so like eating people's food. So apparently these hi Wilson, how are you doing? Thanks for subbing. If you want a tarot card reading, let me know in the comments and I'll give you one. So this is the Bandith I Mamaru, the Mother's Blessing, the Glamorganshire name of the fairies. They steal children, elf ride horses, and visit houses. Bowls of milk were put out for them. I want one concerning my pregnancy, please. I'm just gonna give you a tarot card reading, no problem. I'll go ahead and whoops. Looks like my phone might have died. No, it looks like my phone died. That's no good. Oh, I can give you a reading, but this will probably be the last reading of the night. For Wilson M. Law, and I'll go ahead, I'll show you the cards, but it looks like my phone is kind of dead right now, so I can't show you them like how I would normally do, but that's no problem. Alright, so here's our third card. So I'll go ahead and I'll just show you the cards one by one. So our first card today, this card is our mind, past, background. That's our mind, past, background right here. It is the Five of Swords. It says, hold on to your integrity and don't act purely out of self-interest. You may be... Oh, wait, no. It says, too many issues remain unsolved. You are troubled and your mind is conflicted and uneasy. Okay. Now here's our second card. This is our body present problem. So this card is the Seven of Swords. It says, are you running away from your responsibilities? Are you isolating yourself? Are you being dishonest? Now here's our third card. It says Spirit Future Advice. It says the Seven of Pentacles. It says Seven of Pentacles right here. It says trust your intuition, assess the situation, consider directional changes, but first reap the rewards. So maybe just save up money. So that was your 3-card reading. The first card was again that was the reversed Five of Swords. The second card was our Seven of Swords. And then our third card was the Seven of Pentacles. So that was for Wilson M. Law. So the advice it says is, I guess, to save your money. Save your money up. So that was our final card reading for the night for Wilson M. Law. Thank you for coming on in. I can read a little bit more about these fairies. And then I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna head out after, okay? But I'll be back tomorrow at 6:30 South Pacific time. 6:30 to like 8 something. Alright, so this is Alright, so bowls of milk to put out for them. The Celtic folklore rise gives a circumstantial account of the kidnapping of a child. Let me just put this away. The sub-situation of the changling and the 3 stages of disenchantment by which the mother gained her child again. The Bendith Maru are described as stunted and ugly. The story related by Rise happened at the time when many children were taken by these fairies, and a young widowed woman guarded her beautiful only child with a great care, and the neighbors were sure that he would be coveted by the fairies. One day, when the child was about 3 years old, the mother heard a strange lowing among the cattle and went to see what was the matter. And when she came back, the cradle was empty. She searched desperately for her child and found a little wizened boy who greeted her as mother. She was sure that it was a crimbill, for it never grew. And after a year, she went to a cunning man who advised her first to test the child. This she was to do by a variant of the brewery of eggshells. She was to take the top of a raw egg and stir up the contents. When the crimbill asked her what she was doing, she replied that she was mixing a pasty for the reapers. He exclaimed, I heard from my father. He heard it from his father, that one from his father, that an acorn was before the oak. but ha but I have neither heard nor anybody mixing the pasty for the reapers in an eggshell. This saying established his identity as a changerling, but the mother had yet to discover if her child was with a Bandith Maru, but for the purpose she had to go to the place where the four roads meet above Riad Gloch, where the full moon was 4 days old, and the watch there till midnight. The the procession of the Bandith Maru would pass by, and she must remain silent and still, or she will be lost. He waited a long time till she heard the fairy raid approach, and it passed by. She saw her own dear child. With a great effort, she stayed still and went next day to the cunning man. He told her what she must do to get her son. She must procure a black hen without a white or colored feather on it. Wring the neck and roast it without plucking it on a fire of wood. When every feather dropped off, and not before, she might look at the changeling. With great difficulty, she got the coal black hen and obeyed the cunning man exactly. When she turned to look at the crimble, he had disappeared, and outside the door she heard the voice of her own son. He was thin and worn, and resembled nothing that had happened to him, except that he had been listening to a pleasant music. It was unusual to find all these mortifies combined in one story. More motives. So it says that the baby just came back liking music, I guess. Because I guess they were like, probably like that stuff, I guess. The fairy people. Try to jack the baby, man. They're jacking all the babies, apparently. It says here. Ooh. This is Ben Verre. It says, the Manx name for the mermaid, of which many tales are told round the coast of Man. She bears the same general character as mermaids do everywhere, enchanting and alluring men to their death, but occasionally showing softer traits. In Man, the mermaid shows, on the whole, the softer side of her nature. In Dora Brune's the fairy tales from the Isle of Man, the mermaid, the pertly mirror sets her love on a man and nearly succeeds in alluring him into the sea, but his boatmates save him by the quarter charm. Here she is a siren, but appears apparently accumulated by true love. In the same book, a fisherman who carries a stranded mermaid back into the sea is rewarded by the information of how to find a treasure. He finds it, but it is an antique, but it is of antique gold, and he does not know how to dispose of it. In the end, the strange coins are thrown into the sea by the roaming supplantation, but that is hardly the fault of Ben Very. There is also a story of a baby mermaid who coveted a little human girl's doll and stole it, but it was rebunked by her mother and sent to give her the girl her necklace of pearls to atone for the theft. A pleasant story of Sophia Morrison's Manx fairy tales. The Mermaid of Gobni Ol tells the friendly relations of the Sale family with the local mermaid. There was a strange fishing family with a well-tended croft to eke out of their living, and everything prospered with them. It was noticed that old Sally had a great liking for apples and always took a pile of them in a bowl where they were ripe. But the time came for him to retire, and then things began to go less well. There was soon not enough to keep them all, and one by one the boys went to be sailors till there was only the youngest, even, left to look after his parents and the farm. One day, when Even had set the lobster creel and was climbing along the rocks to search for the seabird's eggs, he heard a sweet voice calling him, and when he came down, he found the Ben Verey sitting on the shawl rock. He was half afraid, but he spoke pleasantly and asked after his father, and he told her all their troubles. When he got home, his father, well pleased to hear what had happened, and told him to take some apples with him the next day. The mermaid was delighted to get her sweet land eggs again, and everything began to flourish once more. But even loved the mermaid's company so much that he spent all his time in his boat, and people began to fault him for idealness. Even was so bothered by this that he decided to go for a sailor. But before he went, he planted a little apple tree on the cliff above the Ben Arrays Bay and told her that when the tree was old enough, the sweet land eggs would ripen and drop down into the sea. So, though he went, she still brought good luck on the place. But the apple tree was slow in growing, and the mermaid grew weary of waiting and went off to look for Evan Saley. The apples ripened to the end, but Even and Ben Verey never came back to gather them. Walter Gill and Manx scrapbook recalls a tradition of a friendly warning by a mermaid near Patrick when the Peel's boats were fishing at the War of Spanish Head. A mermaid rose suddenly among the boats and called out, "Shual Talu," that is, sail to the land. Some of the boats ran for shelter at once. Those that remained lost their tackle and some lives. From their tales, it will be seen that though some of the Ben Array are regarded as dangerous sirens, the pictures of them is on the whole more favorable than most of the mermaids. So these ones are the okay ones. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna call it a night. That's a lot of reading I did. Um, so this book is called The Dictionary of Fairies, Hobgoblins, Brownies, Boggies, and Other Supernatural Creatures by Catherine Mary Briggs. So if you were wondering what that book was that I was reading, that's what it is. Yeah, and that's it. I'll go ahead. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for coming in.